Our planet is facing a hidden threat. It is a threat that exists in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. This threat is microplastic pollution. Microplastics are tiny particles of plastic less than 5 millimeters in size, and they are everywhere. They are in our oceans, on our land, and even inside our bodies. These tiny particles come from larger plastic products that break down over time. Plastic bottles, bags, and packaging all contribute to this growing problem. The widespread use of plastic, a material initially hailed as a marvel of modern science, has created an environmental crisis of unprecedented proportions. The problem of microplastic pollution is vast and complex. It demands our immediate attention. We must understand the scale of this issue and take collective action to mitigate its impact on our planet and our health. The time to act is now. Plastic was once hailed as a revolutionary material. It was durable, versatile, and inexpensive to produce. This led to its widespread use in countless applications, from packaging to construction. However, the very properties that made plastic so desirable have also made it a persistent environmental pollutant. Plastics are not biodegradable. This means they do not break down naturally in the environment like organic materials. Instead, they fragment into smaller and smaller pieces, eventually becoming microplastics. These microplastics can persist in the environment for hundreds, even thousands of years. The journey of plastic from a useful product to a hazardous pollutant is a stark reminder of the unintended consequences of our actions. It highlights the need for sustainable alternatives and responsible consumption patterns. We must find ways to reduce our reliance on plastic and prevent it from entering our environment in the first place. The world's oceans have become the ultimate sink for plastic waste. Every year, millions of tons of plastic end up in our seas, transported by rivers, winds, and ocean currents. This plastic debris accumulates in massive garbage patches, some larger than entire countries. Once in the ocean, plastic does not simply disappear. It slowly breaks down into smaller and smaller fragments, eventually becoming microplastics. These microplastics are easily ingested by marine life, from tiny plankton to large whales. Microplastics are now found in every corner of our oceans, from the surface waters to the deepest trenches. They have even been discovered in Arctic ice and remote islands, highlighting the pervasive nature of this pollution. The presence of microplastics in such pristine environments is a clear indication of the global scale of this problem. Section 4. A toxic soup. The impact of microplastics on marine life. Microplastics pose a serious threat to marine life. These tiny particles are often mistaken for food by marine animals, leading to starvation and internal injuries. Ingesting microplastics can block digestive tracts, reduce feeding, and cause internal damage. Beyond physical harm, microplastics can also act as vectors for harmful chemicals. These chemicals can accumulate in the fatty tissues of marine animals, leading to bioaccumulation and biomagnification up the food chain. This means that top predators, including humans, are exposed to higher concentrations of these toxins. The impact of microplastics on marine ecosystems is a cause for grave concern. It disrupts food webs, threatens biodiversity, and ultimately impacts the health of our oceans. The consequences of inaction are dire, and we must act now to protect these vital ecosystems. Section 5. The human caused microplastics on our plates and in our bodies. The pervasive nature of microplastic pollution means that it has infiltrated our food chain. Microplastics have been found in seafood, salt, bottled water, and even beer. This means that we are ingesting these tiny particles with every bite and sip. While the long-term health effects of microplastic ingestion are still being studied, there is growing concern about their potential impact. Some studies suggest that microplastics can leach harmful chemicals into our bodies, potentially disrupting our hormones and causing other health problems. The presence of microplastics in our food and water is a stark reminder that we are intrinsically connected to our environment. The pollution we create ultimately comes back to haunt us, threatening our health and well-being. Section 6. Turning the tide. Our fight against microplastic pollution. The fight against microplastic pollution requires a multi-pronged approach. It demands collective action from individuals, industries, and governments. While the scale of the problem may seem daunting, each small step we take can make a difference. Reducing our reliance on single-use plastics is crucial. We can choose reusable alternatives to plastic bags, bottles, and packaging. Supporting companies that are actively reducing their plastic footprint and investing in sustainable packaging solutions is another important step. Participating in beach cleanups and supporting organizations working to combat plastic pollution can also make a difference. Education and awareness are key. By educating ourselves and others about the issue of microplastic pollution, we can inspire change and encourage responsible consumption habits. The fight against microplastic pollution is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires sustained effort and a commitment to finding innovative solutions. By working together, we can turn the tide on this environmental crisis and protect our planet for generations to come.